Why is the Prime Minister seeking to suppress Australians' right to vote and importing Trump-style attacks on democracy into Australian politics on the eve of an election? Given the Australian Electoral Commission has confirmed there were no prosecutions, not one, for multiple voting at the last election, isn't the only reason the Prime Minister is doing this is to deny many Australians a vote, particularly those from remote communities?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Mr Speaker, I'll ask the Special Minister of State to address the bill that has been put forward based on the recommendations of the Joint Standing Committee on Electoral Matters, not once, Mr Speaker, but twice. And the proposition that the government seeks to progress based on that recommendation, Mr Speaker, is that people who go to vote should be able to say who they are and prove who they are, Mr Speaker, in a democracy. And Mr Speaker, this is policies that are pursued by Canada, Mr Speaker. The last time I noticed, I didn't see Justin Trudeau looking very much like the former President of the United States, Mr Speaker. We respect them both. We respect all of our partners' leaders, Mr Speaker, because they're democratically elected with a democratic process which has integrity. And the savings provisions under the declaration votes, as the Leader of the Opposition would well know, will ensure that under our proposals every vote will count, every vote will matter, Mr Speaker. But those opposite, Mr Speaker, you've got to really ask yourself why they don't want people to have to prove who they are when they vote.
The Special Minister of State.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. You really have to wonder why the Labor Party this morning took action against this bill before even reading it. What is it that scares them so much about having integrity in our electoral system? Mr Speaker, not only has JSCAM recommended this in 2019, it recommended it in 2016 after the election. And, Mr Speaker, I actually thought that the report after the 2013 election, Mr Speaker, was very well written, and I refer members to it. This bill will ensure that the Australian electoral system comes into line with other liberal democracies like Canada, France, Belgium, Sweden and all but 14 states in the US. The United Kingdom is introducing this legislation. But before the Labor Party even see the details on this bill, Mr Speaker, they are in here trashing it. Now, interestingly, in Queensland, in the last 3 elections, there have been one instance of requiring voter ID, and it was in that election there was a higher turnout than in the 2 subsequent elections without it, Mr Speaker. The Labor Party is against this for all the wrong reasons, Mr Speaker, and one has to wonder what they are. You have to show ID to pick up a parcel at the post office, Mr Speaker. Yet this lot won't allow more integrity in our electoral system to ensure that the right people are having their names marked off at the roll. Mr Speaker, I have to question the motivation of those opposite. Taking action this morning against a bill before you see the detail makes you wonder